Hi guys, Mrs. Leonard here, and I'm here to read to you chapter 2 out of the Magic Tree House series, book number 2, The Night at Dawn, written by Mary Pope Osborne. Okay, here we go. Chapter 2, Leaving Again. No one's here, Annie shouted down. Jack thought about going home. Then he thought about all the books in the treehouse. He started up the ladder. When he was nearly to the treehouse, he saw light in the distant sky. Dawn was starting to break. He crawled through a hole in the floor and took off his backpack. It was dark inside the treehouse. Annie was shining her flashlight on the books scattered about. "They're still here," she said. She stopped the light on a dinosaur book. It was the book that had taken them to the time of the dinosaurs. "Remember the Tyrannosaurus?" asked Annie. Jack shuddered. "Ooh." Of course, he remembered. How could he forget seeing a real-life Tyrannosaurus Rex? The light fell on a book about Pennsylvania. A red silk bookmark stuck out of it. "Remember the picture of Frog Creek?" said Annie. "Of course," said Jack. That was the picture that had brought them home. "That's my favorite," said Annie. The light was shining on a book about knights and castles. There was a blue leather bookmark in it. Annie turned to the page with the bookmark. There was a picture of a knight on a black horse. He was riding toward a castle. "Annie, close that book," said Jack. "I know what you're thinking." Annie pointed at the knight. "Don't, Annie! I wish we could see this guy for real." "No, we don't!" shouted Jack. They heard a strange sound. "Neigh!" It sounded like a horse neighing. They both went to the window. Annie shined the flashlight down on the ground. "Oh no," whispered Jack. "A knight!" said Annie. "A knight in shining armor riding a black horse through the Frog Creek woods." Then the wind began to moan. Ooh. The leaves began to tremble. Shh. It was happening again. "We're leaving!" cried Annie. "Get down!" The wind moaned louder, the leaves shook harder, and the treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Jack squeezed his eyes shut. Then everything was still. Absolutely still. Jack opened up his eyes. He shivered. The air was damp and cold. The sound of the horse's whinny came again from the window. From below. "Neigh!" "I think we're here," whispered Annie. She was still holding the castle book. Jack peeked out the window. A huge castle loomed out of the fog. He looked around. The tree house was in a different oak tree, and down below, the knight on the black horse was riding by. "We can't stay here," said Jack. "We have to go home and make a plan first." He picked up the book about Pennsylvania. He opened up to the page with the red silk bookmark. He pointed to the photograph of Frog Creek woods. "I wish—" "No!" said Annie. She yanked the book away from him. "Let's stay. I want to visit the castle." "You're nuts." "We have to examine the situation," said Jack. "From home." "Let's examine it here," said Annie. "Come on." She held out her hand. Jack said, "Give it to me." Annie gave Jack the book. "Okay, you can go home. I'm staying," she said. She clipped the flashlight to her belt. "Wait," said Jack. "I'm going to take a peek, a tiny, tiny peek," she said, and she scooted down the ladder. Jack groaned. Okay, she had won. He couldn't leave without her. Besides, he sort of wanted to make a peek of it for himself. He put down the book about Pennsylvania. He dropped the castle book into his pack. He stepped into the ladder. He headed down into the cool, misty air. And that is the end of chapter 2. We will start up chapter 3 tomorrow. Love you guys.